Good morning, day 3 in Shenandoah National Park. I'm off to a late start today. I slept in because I was tired. It's also raining again. Well, very misty. It's not necessarily raining, but it's misty, wet, lots of fog on the mountain. So I'm going light today. I'm doing Black Rock Summit right now, and then I'll probably do Chimney Rocks after, as long as it doesn't start pouring. But there's not really anyone here, so I've got the mountain to myself. And Black Rock Summit is the mile hike, and then Chimney Rocks after, I want to say it's about 3, but I'll double check that. I've hit a fork in the road. Let's see what it says. Black Rock Summit. Oh, they're both, it's just a loop. Okay, either way, so I'll just keep going this way. Came to a triple fork in the road. That way, that way, that way. I'll be going to the right. I think I've reached a place where there should be a view, but obviously today is not the best day for weather. Unfortunately, these gray skies, well, white skies, have prevented any kind of view for this hike, but the hike is good, it's easy, it's pretty. Honestly, it's something worth coming back to if I have time one day. A moody, foggy view. It's starting to rain again, so I'm gonna start booking it back into the forest. I'm still at the place where there should be an overlook, but it's all fog today. This is a really easy hike. It's about a mile, so tomorrow I'm doing Old Rag, which is 9.5 miles, but if I have time after, I might come back and do this one more time just to see the view. I'm back under the trees. Still getting wet, but not quite as out in the open now. So I'm debating what to do next. I'm finishing up Black Rock Summit Trail now, and the plan was to go over to Chimney Rock Trail and do about 3 miles, but this rain kind of stinks. Really the fog stinks more because that hike is all about the views. So with the fog, I want the views, but I kind of want the exercise and I just want to get the mileage in. So it is only 12. I could technically do that hike, and then I also saw that there's something called the Great Caverns, which is nearby, and it's caverns, it's underground. You got stalagmites and stalactites, and it looks pretty cool. That could be a pretty full day if I can make it all happen. So we'll see. There was a spider hanging from my hand. It's raining harder, but I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do the hike. Chimney Rocks is 3.1 miles. So I'm doing this mostly for the exercise because I don't think I'll be getting any views. But yeah, here we go. Fork in the trail. I'll be going to the left here. That's the Appalachian Trail. This is to Chimney Rocks, or Calvary Rock and Chimney Rocks. And it's really raining now. I think it's actually raining harder than it did yesterday. So after I finish this hike, I'm done on trails today. Yeah, I'm getting real wet. It's really raining. I'm soaked. I think I'm almost there though. Gotta check the map. I feel like this probably could have been a lookout, but just fog today. have reached the top of Chimney Rocks, but as expected, it's pretty cloudy. It's a bit of a break in the clouds though, so let's see what I can see. Made it to Chimney Rock's view. Obviously I didn't get a view today, but I could tell that it is a beautiful view on a sunny day. And I'm gonna head back down the trail now. I am soaking wet, but I do have to say, despite the rain being worse today, there is actually something very therapeutic about walking in the rain. So a walk in the rain, a hike in the rain, either one. I don't know. It's very calming and soothing, and as long as it's not freezing outside, I highly recommend it. And by not freezing, I mean 60 degrees or above. That's when it's enjoyable. If it's any colder than that, I imagine it's actually quite miserable. But in warmer temperatures, a walk in the rain is very nice. As soon as I say I don't mind walking in the rain, it stopped raining. I'm back to that first viewpoint, and you can see there's a little break in the clouds there, but I'm pretty sure there's a worse storm rolling in tonight. So I'm gonna get back on the trail and get back to the car. The rain has returned. I knew it would. I'm getting closer to the car though. I'm back at the fork in the trail. So I originally came from this way. That was Appalachian. I'm getting closer to the car. I also found this like weapon rock. It fits perfectly in my hand. So if anything tries to hurt me, hopefully it's not anything too big. I tried it against my own skin and it does hurt. And that's without me hitting hard. So that's a good one, I'm gonna keep it. It was an equal amount of ups and downs on the way there, which means it's an equal amount of ups and downs on the way back. Right now I'm on the final down, I think. So almost back at the car. I got my dagger rock. But seriously, look at how perfect it fits in my hand. There's like a little ledge for the side of my finger. It wraps around perfect. There's a ledge right down here for this finger. Don't make me use this. I'm back at the parking lot. Somehow I'm the only one here. I saw a guy on the trail, but he must have been doing the Appalachian. But I'm back at my car, and I'm done with the rain for the day. I'm gonna head over to Grand Caverns immediately because they close at 5, and I think it's like 2 right now. So I just wanna make sure I can go there and get in if they have space for me. The last tour today was at 3:30. I got here at 3:19, got my ticket, and now I'm walking up to where the tour starts. It was a last minute plan, but it worked out.
Welcome to take photos as well.
So we go in here, and then go back out.
So welcome to the radish room. Stalactites, and you can remember their name by thinking they will not tight to the ceiling, not to be confused with stalagmites, which you might trip over from up out of the ground. So as we go through the cave, I will be turning the lights off behind us to try and help inhibit the growth of that cave moss and cave algae. Finally, you might have already been dripped on.
Green is the only unnatural color, and it's caused by stuff, chemicals humans bring in, bacteria and stuff. And when it drips on your head, it's called a cave kiss.
Yes, it's called King Solomon's Temple, is they thought this formation looked like a throne for a king. What it is actually known as is a shield. So shields are actually very rare for caves, and that's part of why I'm so excited you came here today. If you visit other caves, I challenge you to try and find shields. You probably won't. Caves that do have shields tend to have between 5 to maybe 12, but Grand Caverns is special because we have over 500 documented shields, and scientists do not know why. What they think might have something to do with it, it is not confirmed, it's just a hypothesis, is our ceiling. Because if you look up, I don't know if you've been in other caves, but most cave ceilings don't look like this. That is because we have vertical bedding. Most caves have horizontal bedding. What this means is that millions of years ago when the Shenandoah Valley was underwater, the remains of sea creatures and plant life was decomposing and falling down to the ocean floor and compiling one on top of each other like this, with the oldest layer being at the bottom and the youngest being at the top. And that's how you get limestone and sandstone. That is this is the work spot, so just walk ahead. Invited a bunch of cavers to come in and sort of remap the cave. And as they did, one of them had a black lab puppy named Rosie. They had to step off the path so that some other people passed by, and Rosie began sniffing around this rock. She then made the indication there was an air pressure change that she sensed beyond it. So we got permission to remove that rock, and that is how 2.8 miles of wild, undisturbed cave was discovered. Now, why it probably won't ever be commercialized is, one, it's very scientifically valuable. Although Grand Caverns is itself pretty impressive, because we were commercialized so quickly after discovery and just continued giving tours, there's a lot of human damage all throughout this cave, because back in the 1800s, they didn't know as much about cave systems. They would just break off pieces to take as souvenirs. They would write their names on the cave. They would touch things. And so to have a piece of pristine Grand Caverns that they can study when it itself is so unique with the vertical bedding and the shields is pretty amazing. Also, it's very difficult to traverse. After you go down through that back gate that was at the bottom, there is a 30 to 40 minute belly crawl through a 9-inch high passage.
Oh, thank you.
And then a 15-foot drop you have to rappel down after that. But if you can make it through all of that, there's a room down there called Kentucky Hall that is 2 to 3 times the size of the largest room that you're going to see on tour today. And when we get to that room, I'll point it out so you can have an idea of comparison. You see some fresh white calcite. It's trying to grow more drapery, similar to this. It is a little green though. It's growing that cave algae and cave moss on it. This area was known as the chapel. It's thought that in the 1800s they used to use this for church services, wedding ceremonies, and drama performances. In fact, you can see where they did carve seating into the rock and clay over there for some of those events. As we go, I'll be pointing out parts of the 1800 refinery, and it took 2,000 candles to light this space up. So even though it obviously wasn't a gravel space, they had cleared out and busted up a lot of like the natural formations that would have been filling this room. The original path, though, comes out right behind that rock, which you'll see as we pass through.
They'd all be in like formal dresses and have a dance. Yeah. Okay.
So that was in the 1810s through to the 1800s.
If you were to break open one of these, it would have rings similar to a tree. But instead of telling how old it is, it'll tell the history of the temperature.
Find my light's reflection. You're looking at the New York City skyline.
Oh my gosh.
With our Empire State Building. So they wanted to invert that image. They decided to add this reflecting pool here. Now we do get the water for this from a natural reflecting pool farther on in the cave that I'll show. Or cave popcorn. In lab conditions, they take about 300 years for 1 cubic inch of growth to form. So if you look at those, you can do a rough estimate of how long water stood still in this chamber. You can also see we have our ladder right here. This was found off trail in the 1980s during a cave cleanup. This would have been used in the 1800s. If you were a guest here at that time, you would have been expected to haul this along behind us and assemble and disassemble it so that we could go to different parts of the cave. Pretty thankful for our stairs nowadays. Years to take back home with them.
Wow.
You can see that the cave is beginning to heal itself. These little white drips are called soda straws. 125 years for 1 cubic inch of growth. So they grow faster than the cave coral, but they're not going to look any different in our lifetime. And as happens is calcite eventually clogs the center, and water can only flow down along the outside, and that's how you get the icicle type. There is a bit of ghost story associated with it. Part of the original 1800s path would come down here, follow these stairs, up, which then leads to 3 chambers beyond where my light is shining. However, it was said that when people got right about here, oftentimes their lights would be suddenly extinguished. And that is a big problem when you are down here this far with no other light source. You would have to wait 3 or 4 hours for the next tour to come through, rescue you, and relight your torch. People became so afraid of this, they discontinued it as part of the tour. What was actually happening, of course, is that the owner of the cave at the time instigated that rumor. He didn't want people going back there because in one of these chambers beyond, he had found a dogtooth spar calcite in the floor. It was a geode in the floor of one of these back rooms. He wanted to mine out that dogtooth spar calcite and sell it. At the time, it was thought to be quite rare, so he was expecting to make quite a bit of money, didn't want anyone interrupting him or trying to get a cut in on the deal. As he was doing that, though, busting up the calcite and ruining a lot of the formations back there, dogtooth spar was found in caves all over the place in the eastern part of America. So the value went down, he didn't get what he thought he would for it. I think it serves him right. But if you do those 200 feet long and about 35 feet high, on the ceiling you can see more of that cave coral, reminding us this was underwater for a really long time. You can also see bald spots. This used to be where shields hung. They were ripped off the ceiling either by massive earthquake activity or possibly erosion from water rushing through. Now this would have been thousands, if not millions of years, but because of those lights that are always pointed up there.
So that,
some areas are just, I don't know, it grows more readily than other areas, but most of the time you'll see it in areas where there's light shining.
and everything green comes from human bacteria that gets brought into the cave or the cavern?
Yes, the outside particles and bacteria that we bring.
Wow.
If this was a completely closed off environment, you wouldn't see that.
Wow.
Of thousands of people's hand oils and skin cells stuck on this rock. If you touch a rock in the cave, those adhere, and then when water-bearing calcite drops down from the ceiling, instead of adhering to the rock and making it grow, it just slicks right off because water and oil don't mix. So unfortunately, he's not going to grow any taller, but he is sort of a good visual reminder for what this cave would look like.
It looks really fleshy.
Yes.
Looks like that like a sci-fi
very,
movie.
Yeah, fleshy and gooey and goopy. It's just, or like, you know, like dripping wax.
Yeah.
Versus, I mean, here you can see this is wet, but it's not, it doesn't have the layers and layers of
Looks like it's frosted.
stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we felt really slick the other day. But that is because it is full of minerals, mostly calcite, but also other things. And that's why I recommend you not drink it. You don't want cave in your body. It creates kidney stones, really bad kidney stones.
Why is that? From the minerals?
The minerals, yes.
Oh, okay.
You can even see this is part of the original crock up here on the ledge, and even within this crock, there are teeny tiny formations that were beginning to form.
Wow.
Watch your head on Headache Rock, as you go to see maybe 1, 2. In here, we have at least 30, making it the largest concentration that we know of in the cave of shields, but you can see they're all over the place, and they're hanging from many different angles of the ceiling and walls. You can see shields on top of shields. We have one shield that formed here, and then a second one that formed off of that. They're just all over the place.
Stalactites, little baby stalactites. And then these are little baby stalagmites. And these are up amidst it out to catch the coconut cream pie.
Make sure as you walk through, you're going to the left. Sounds this must have made when it occurred. Think of the tectonic plate shift that must have happened to cause this. If a 5.8 earthquake in 2011 did nothing to our cave, what on earth must this have been like? It ripped off a huge amount of rock right there, dropped it to the floor. It went through the drapery, it snapped this column, and then it ripped through this back wall. It kind of terminates behind me. Remember I said, because there's because there's no weather, no climate in caves, they're very good at, but even on the inside, you can see tiny, tiny bits of growth where soda straws are beginning to form. Exploration, maybe that's what I'm looking for. They actually wanted to connect this cave to Fountain Cave, which is our sister cave that we also do tours out of. Ultimately, they realized they were going in the wrong direction and they abandoned it. But if they'd continued digging only about 20 to 25 feet further, they actually would have accidentally broken into the wild section of cave and discovered it 100 years before we did in 2004. For making it all the way to the end, this is a calcite flow. And it's just very pretty. It's even prettier in candlelight.
And back in the day, people used to come in here and just break off stalactites and take them home.
You were in the bridal chamber. Got its name because
Bridal Veil shield.
on her wedding day with her veil hanging down. This shield baffles scientists. They don't know why it's coming up vertically instead of down from the ceiling or out from a wall. This one is doing something similar.
Can you explain one more time just how a cavern's even made?
Yes. So limestone, and typically, you know, it's limestone that's horizontal, but again, ours was vertical like this. The limestone is all packed together, and then acidic rain falls down and dissolves the limestone. Limestone's very soluble.
Okay.
And that's how these big open spaces were created, but when the water picks up calcite, after it dissolves the limestone, it picks up the calcite in the limestone, and then drips. That is how you get the formations. So the big openings are from where the limestone dissolved, and the formations themselves are from the calcite that was in the water when the limestone dissolved.
Got it. Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
This is Cathedral Hall.
Those are ricochet marks.
From gunshots?
From gunshots, yes.
Wow. This is the grand ballroom. Back in the day, in the 1800s, they'd come down here and hold big dances. Everyone would be in their formal wear, and it would be lit by 200 candles. I'm just repeating everything she said earlier.
He was captain of the 14th Pennsylvania Cavalry during the Civil War. He signed September 26, 1864. As he was signing, he actually heard gunshots, and the Confederates were attacking at the base of the hill. So he couldn't even do all of his tour. He only got this far in from the original entrance room, which is what we're about to go into.
Oh, wow.
Signed his name and then had to run back out to go fight. But he was promoted to major for acts of bravery soon after this, making this probably one of his last signatures using the title captain. Unfortunately, in December of that year, he was killed when Mosby's Rangers attacked his base at Winchester. And it's just growing there in the light.
Just because it's close to
You're
the
definitely
surface,
gonna feel a
and an
temperature
animal
change.
probably brought in seeds.
This is in the cave, and that is the 17-year-old boy who found this cave. His girlfriend Susanna even signed farther down. So cute. Thing, I'm going to show you where we've been. Watch out, there's like 3 ledges that I tend to stumble
This was
down.
the original entrance that the 17-year-old boy found the cave through.
This is our original map. This is all we thought there was up until 2004. You can see it's missing that huge secondary piece. Solomon's Temple. You went through past the zoo room, down into the Persian Palace, into the Grand Ballroom, up Lover's Lane, eventually made your way to the Rainbow Room. These are the pools that you were looking into. Past Dante's Inferno, this area is the chambers beyond where that geode was that he was mining out. You went down into Cathedral Hall, the largest area on our public tour. You passed Washington's Ghost. You went through Jefferson and Jackson, into the shield room, past those oyster shell shields, and into our final room. These are those tunnels that I mentioned that they were digging out. We turned around, went back, stopped off at the bridal chamber. You took photos in front of the Bridal Veil shield, and then we went all the way back, exiting out of what was the original entrance that, again, Bernard Weir found in 1804.
Just did the cavern tour. It was awesome. Our tour guide was Ashley. She was so informative, and she just let us know that the caves got electricity in 1889, and that means every exploration before that had candlelight. And they actually did a really cool example of what total darkness is and what candlelight is like in there, and it was wild. So with no light on, complete darkness, she said that within 24 to 48 hours you would start hallucinating. And if you got light after that amount, you would have temporary blindness for a little bit. And then with the candlelight, it was really pretty because the stone sparkled a little bit more, and I don't know, they do candlelight tours, so I think if I'm ever back in this area, I'd like to do a candlelight tour. Grand Caverns in Grotto, Virginia. Park. All right, I'm at Old Rag Hiking Trail. You see the parking lot's really tight, not very many spaces. I got one of the last 4 that were here. I'm doing Old Rag from Berry Hollow Trailhead. All right, so I saw this sign. This is my second time up the little hill from the car. I have to bring my park pass, my ID, and my day pass for this particular hike. So this particular hike in Shenandoah National Park requires a day use permit. It's $2, you get it online prior. Sorry, I'm going uphill. I had no issue getting a pass. I think I bought it on Wednesday and it's Thursday now, so I might have bought it Tuesday, I don't know. But either way, I'll talk later. At the first junction, I'll be going to the right. Okay, trail's going down now, I can talk. So I'm on Berry Hollow Fire Road, which leads up to Old Rag Mountain. So I'm gonna be taking this alternative route up to the summits. This is about 6 miles long. If you do the other route, it's about 9.5, it's a big loop. And I wanted to do that one because apparently there's a lot of really fun scrambling on it, but this is my only day of sunshine besides Monday, and now it's Thursday. So Monday, sunshine, Tuesday, Wednesday, rainy, foggy, Thursday, sunshine. So today I wanna get up to this vista, enjoy it, get back down and have some time to maybe see another vista. We'll see. Things to note if you're planning to hike here. The parking lot is very, very small from this access point. There might have been maybe like 12 spaces. And when I got here at 10:15 a.m., there was like 4 spots left. So I got one of those spots. And it's very tight as well. So I'm a little nervous about how I'm getting out of this spot later on. But something just to note. And the fire, this is a pretty easy hike. Like the first part of it's all ascent. I'm going down now and I'll give a difficulty rating after it's all done. I went the wrong way. I was literally looking at my map too. I don't know how I went the wrong way. Back at the junction where I really took a video. So now I'm going back up. I thought it was weird that I was going down. Okay, so I went down that way, came back up this way. That's where I parked, so I was supposed to go that way. It was a sharp right turn, not a gradual right turn.
She's like, oh, it's a more accessible way to travel and pick these.
I'm getting closer to the top. Old Rag Summit, 0.5. I'm almost there. A vista before the official vista. Old Rag Summit's this way. There's a couple different view areas. I'm gonna go to this one first. Wow. Incredible. I made it to the top of Old Rag Mountain. It's a beautiful view. It's also extremely windy, so it got very cold once I got to the top. My hair's flying all over the place. Might be a trust it. I don't want it to fall off the mountain. Back into this area. And then I'm gonna go check out this viewpoint. Now I'm gonna give this side a look. I'm heading back down the mountain. It was a beautiful vista, but very, very windy. And there's a lot of people, so it was kind of tough to get quiet and solitude up there. But beautiful view, beautiful hike. Kind of wish I had done the scramble side of it. That would have been a nice challenge. But I did want to make sure I didn't use the whole day on this hike. So now I've got to decide what I want to do next. Back at this beautiful lookout. I'm back at the area with this little cabin for people taking a break for a picnic for lunch. And then we got here. It's the old rag shelter. I'm going that way. Oh God, if I make a mistake again. A good spot to break for lunch, or if you're on the Appalachian Trail, nice little shelter if you need it. I'm getting back to where the fire road starts soon. I'm back at the fork in the road. I'm going that way. Back on Berry Hollow Fire Road. Ah, it's so green and beautiful, and the birds are singing. All right, I am back at the parking lot. As you can see, there are not very many spaces, so first come, first serve sort of deal. And it's super tight, so this is gonna be real fun to get out of. I'm very lucky because the Jeep that was right there is out, so I can just pull straight forward and that way and then back out. These are my stats. It was 6.4 miles. I did do that little detour, which might have been about 0.4, so maybe 6 total. Elevation gain, the time does not include me stopping up at the top. So let me see what that looked like. Okay, and there's a better idea. So high top mountain parking area right here. It's small, but I'm the only one here. And now I gotta go on the trail, which is right over here. High top mountain is 1.7 that way and back. Someone left their glasses here. I was told it was a 2.8 hike all the way around, but it must be a little bit longer than that. Okay, I think I'm here. Oh, wow. Yep, this is beautiful. I made it to the top of High Top Mountain in Shenandoah National Park. It was a nice workout to get up here, and the view is gorgeous. Also, I had the trail all to myself pretty much. Only a few people passed me coming down, but otherwise, I got it all to myself. Yes. I'm heading back down the trail. This is a nice little unexpected hike. I had a nice little workout getting up to the view. The view itself was absolutely beautiful, and there were no crowds on the trail. So I'd say that's a win-win-win all the way around. It's all downhill now. I've reached the end of the trail, and over on the other side of the road is the little parking lot for this trail. Here are my hiking stats: 2.9 miles, 886 feet of elevation, and took an hour and 20 minutes.